Hi everyone. The Auguste von Wismar is an interesting example of a Baltic trading vessel from the age when sailing ships still dominated the world's oceans. Built in the 1840s, it represents a period often described as the golden age of merchant sail, just before steamships began to reshape global shipping forever. While it was not a clipper, nor a naval warship, the Auguste von Wismar belonged to a class of vessels that quietly sustained world commerce. These were the true workhorses of the maritime economy, reliable, versatile, and built to carry cargo rather than fame. During this era, the German ports, especially the former Hanseatic cities, were rapidly expanding their maritime trade networks. Ships like the Auguste von Wismar were essential for moving goods between the Baltic and the North Sea, and for crossing the Atlantic. On short regional routes, these brigs carried lumber, grain, coal, bricks, and manufactured goods from Europe. On long-distance voyages, captains boldly set their course toward American ports, where cargoes of cotton, tobacco, coffee, sugar, and exotic dyewoods awaited for the return journey. This two-way trade formed a vital part of the global supply chain of the 19th century, long before the invention of the container ship or the diesel engine. In this section, we explore the plans and the design of the brig Auguste von Wismar. Built in 1840 in the German port city of Wismar, she is an excellent example of a classic two-masted brig designed for commercial service in a rapidly globalizing maritime world. Like most brigs of her era, Auguste von Wismar carried a full set of square sails on both masts, making her a fast, maneuverable, and efficient cargo carrier. This rig struck the ideal balance between seaworthiness, handling, and economy, allowing a relatively small crew to operate a surprisingly large sail area, a crucial advantage in commercial shipping. From a naval architecture perspective, her proportions reveal a thoughtful and practical design. The hull measured 26.36 meters in length and 7.66 meters in beam. This length-to-beam ratio of roughly 3.4 to 1 indicates a streamlined, fairly sharp hull form, built not only for capacity but also for respectable sailing performance. With a draft of around 4 meters, she could enter most Baltic and North Sea ports without difficulty, yet still possessed the depth and stability required for ocean passages. Her carrying capacity of 263 tons placed her in the category of medium-tonnage general cargo vessels. This made her suitable for transporting a diverse range of commodities, exactly the kind of flexible merchant work that kept 19th-century maritime trade alive. The surviving plans provide a detailed look at the spars and rigging. The foremast and mainmast both carry 4 standard tiers of square sails: the lower yard, the top yard, the topgallant yard, and the royal yard, a configuration that provided sufficient sail power for both coastal and transatlantic routes. Forward of the foremast, a set of triangular staysails improved windward performance and made tacking more efficient, especially in narrow Baltic waters. The plans also note core elements of the sail handling system. Instructions and labels refer to the methods of fastening square sails to the yards, to the sheeting points at the lower corners of the sails, and to the running lines used for adjustment. Altogether, these details show a refined and efficient rig tailored to a small but competent merchant crew. Design and construction at that time were not separated as they are today. The shipbuilder himself, Johann Christian Marin, was both the designer and the master craftsman responsible for her construction. His shipyard in Wismar launched the vessel in 1840, built from durable oak for the framing and resinous pine for the planking, materials chosen both for strength and longevity. One of the most striking aspects of Auguste von Wismar's design story is her exceptional service life, 48 years. Such longevity was rare for wooden sailing vessels and speaks to a combination of high-quality construction, careful maintenance, and clever operational choices. Early in her career, the underwater hull was protected with zinc sheathing, giving her a decisive advantage during the first 3 decades at sea by reducing biological damage and rot. When this sheathing finally wore out, it was removed during a major overhaul in the 1870s and replaced with fresh timber, a costly but rational investment, since the hull remained structurally sound. By the 1870s and 1880s the age of steam had arrived, and brigs like Auguste von Wismar could no longer compete on high-priority routes carrying time-sensitive cargo. However, they continued to thrive in the transport of bulk commodities such as coal, lumber, and grain, trades in which low operating costs mattered more than absolute speed. In retrospect, Auguste von Wismar stands as a case study in durable shipbuilding and sensible commercial operation. Born in the golden age of sail, she outlived her own cutting-edge technology and adapted to a changing world. Her story is a reminder that true longevity in maritime history begins at the shipyard, but it is preserved through smart choices made in port and at sea. Thanks for watching.